Marvel Studios has managed to make it back into theaters with movie number 33, The Marvels. It's time to talk about it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to KlepcxFM, brought to you by CritiX.com, a place where we talk about movies, television, pop culture. And if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe key and that notification bell so you can be up to speed about everything that I talk about here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, just like the rest of the world today, it has seen Marvel Studios' 33rd film, The Marvels. That's right, stars Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, and Iman Vellani, the amazing Iman Vellani. And we got to talk about it. But before I do, in good fashion, before I talk about what I thought and how it made me feel, my first reactions, let's talk about what it is. Okay, so this film, The Marvels, is the sequel to the 2019 Captain Marvel, which only starred Brie Larson at the time, and Nick Fury, of course, Samuel L. Jackson, and a little cute little flirking kitty by the name of Goose. Did very well. Did about $1 billion at the box office. It had mixed reviews. A lot of people did not like the film or the character in which she was portraying, but it managed to still make $1 billion at the box office. Now, questions were: was this film, the follow-up, going to do the same amount of numbers or completely tank in the current state of the MCU? Now, full disclosure, let's talk about this. I may get in the spoiler realm a little bit because I feel as though I have to express myself about certain scenes and things that go along in this movie. So if you do not want any spoilers or want to know anything that's going on in this film, please step away because I'm going to just be going full blown because I'm a little unhappy with the way that this film is being treated. Not saying that I thought it was the best film in the world or that I love this film, but there are a lot more forgivable moments about this movie than the internet and a lot of the critics are leading to believe. So, without further ado, let's talk about The Marvels. For me, I really feel as though that a lot of the problems that people are having with this film is that it spends a lot of time talking about what was, what's next, and not a lot about what is currently going on in the movie. There's a lot of backstory being told in the beginning of this film, and I'm not going to be selfish and say it wasn't needed because there are probably a lot of people who were not introduced to these characters outside of Captain Marvel the same way that I was introduced. We had WandaVision, which gave us Teyonah Parris's Monica Rambeau, and then we have Ms. Marvel's solo TV series on Disney Plus, which introduced Iman Vellani's Kamala Khan. Now, being thrusted into this movie, there are a lot of people, like I said, who probably don't know where these characters come from. So they give us a lot of backstory, flashbacky stuff in the beginning of this film that kind of catch certain people up to speed. And it's not even a lot, trust me. If the context isn't there, you were probably more confused than you did understand unless you knew exactly what it was that they were showing you. They do this twice, actually. They do this in the beginning of the movie, and then they give you another one somewhere in the center of the film when the three leads kind of start to try to mesh together, and the chemistry is being built between the three of them. I found that okay. Like I said, I'm not going to pretend like I know it all and that everybody else should know it all going into this movie, but I thought that it was a necessary and kind of cool, stylish way that director Nia DaCosta kind of did to kind of catch people up without dragging this film out. It is only an hour and 45 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, so it is very quick. It's very fast. And the main points that I was talking about, what was and what's next. The what next is what sold me on this movie. Hear me out. We have gotten a vast amount of films, television series from Marvel in the last 3 years, maybe, that really don't set up what in the hell is coming next. People complain about it all the time. Everything feels a little self-contained. You got Shang-Chi, which gave us a little bit of something, but not a lot of something. So it just kind of felt like it was its own, standalone film with just another cliffhanger post-credit scene. Then we got the same thing in Doctor Strange. Then we got the same thing in No Way Home. Then we got the same thing on the television series. We got the same thing on Loki. We got the same thing Ms. Marvel. A lot of these things are just kind of like just fallen to the wayside. Like they're not really setting up anything. But in this one, we got two very strong post-credit scenes, and I think one of them I've been predicting for a very long time. I said that this is going to happen. They're going to bring in another team. That's a hint that I'm super excited. Now, this movie has a weak little plot, but we are 33 movies into the MCU. Maybe 50 to 100 comic book movies, period. If there's another way to do this kind of a storyline where it's good versus evil, please, by all means, ladies and gentlemen, step up and show us the way to do it, because yeah, it's pretty weak, but I don't think that the bad guy was in the overall story around that bad guy or girl, woman, was the primary focus. I think the focus was to kind of catapult our B-list characters, and they did a brilliant job with Iman Vellani. For those of you who are a Ms. Marvel fan like myself, if you are a diehard Ms. Marvel fan, and I'm talking about the comics, I'm talking about the Marvel Rising cartoon, I'm talking about the Ms. Marvel television series, you are going to have a damn good time in this movie, because this movie is, I would say, 75% Iman Vellani, just letting loose, shining like you would not believe. She has amazing uh, growth as a character in this film. You see the fighting style is way better than what we got in the television series. She's a lot more what's the words I'm looking for? She's a lot more grown in her abilities. She knows how to use them properly. She's still a little wet behind the ears and still a fangirl, which is the best thing about Iman Vellani, because she reminds me of myself and other Marvel comic fans. You get a ton of that in this film. Tiana Paris, she is a little underused, but in a way where if you know her character from WandaVision, you understand her purpose. She's the brains of the operation. So you get a lot of her doing her Tony Stark talk. Like, not saying Tony Stark is in this, but like she does a lot of brainiacking throughout this entire film. So there's a lot of deep dialogue, and she's the one that's behind it all. She helms it all. Nia DaCosta did a great job, I think, with what Tiona's purpose was in this film, outside of just making her another soup, flashing powers. She understands her powers. She understands their powers. She understands why everything is happening in this thing. So if you're lost, you need to pay attention to the things that she talks about. Brie Larson's character in this film, there's a little bit of growth there. You see a little bit of hinderness in the fact that she's always been a solo champion, and that she's always doing everything by herself, and she pushes herself to the limit, and it's always on her back. The weight of the world is always on her shoulders, and you get to see her kind of kick back as she gets comfortable with her new partners, so to speak. Again, a lot of this stuff does feel rushed. This is the shortest Marvel Studios movie, an hour and 45 minutes. So they kind of give you this in a lot of montage stuff. The fight scenes are very quick, but so stylish, so cool. But it does feel a little rushed in that sense, where I say they focus a lot on what was and what's coming up next. There are two scenes in this movie that I think a lot of people are on the fence about, or just plain just don't like. They really just hate the scenes that they're seeing in this movie. One in particular, I feel as though is like something straight out of James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy cutting room floor. Like maybe it was a scene or a planet that he wanted to incorporate that would have worked very well for something that Star-Lord was landing on. It's a planet. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now. It's a planet that is their language is song. Now I feel like there's layers to the scene, because a lot of people just straight up hate it. It pulls them out of the film. I'm gonna say I wasn't really a big fan until I started thinking about the psyche of what was going on in this scene. So the whole time there's a joke. Brie Larson doesn't want to really go there. Captain Marvel doesn't even want to bring. They have to go there because for a reason I won't give you, but they have to go there. But you kind of see Brie Larson's little reserve. She doesn't want to go there because of she knows what it really is, and she doesn't want to be that way in front of her new colleagues, her new partners. So when she gets there, she kind of becomes a Disney princess, so to speak, in this world that their language is in song. So you kind of get like a Disney-esque kind of vibe of what's going on, and everybody is kind of just well, not everyone, but the Tiana, Monica, and Iman, Kamala are like kind of thrown like what is happening right now, and it makes you feel uncomfortable watching it because the scene goes on for a very long time. But I honestly think that that was the butt of the joke. I think that that was the gut punch to be like, oh, Captain Marvel is now a Disney princess. Check it out, take that, eat that, whatever, go run with it. And a lot of people took that very seriously, and they walked out of that theater very, very upset about that one scene. The second scene was something that was kind of feels like it was kind of just thrown in there for merchandising reasons. Don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if you see more stuffed animal flurkins floating around at maybe a Build-A-Bear or a Walmart or a Target, because the flurkin the Flurkin force is real in this film, and there is a reason why they made a poster for this film that was covered in Flurkins, because there's a scene that there's something going on, and the only way to save the day is to bring more Flurkins, way more Flurkins than anyone imagined that we would ever need. So those are just the two things that I think a lot of people have issues with this film. Again, for me, this movie gave me everything that I wanted as a Ms. Marvel fan, not just movies, cinematic universe, but overall comics, cartoons, just knowing the characters and seeing the things that they do. I had a really good time. Let's talk about the post-credit scenes, because that's the part that I love the most, that they gave me something to bite on and be like, yes, let's go. I have been waiting forever, and I've been saying this since they introduced Miss Kate Bishop in Hawkeye, that I was ready to see some new Avengers. I'll just say that. And I told you there's going to be possible spoilers in this, so I apologize. If you don't want to hear this, step away now. So there's a post-credit scene that introduces some possibilities, and the way that they did it in respect of Nick Fury was absolutely cute. It was amazing. I enjoyed it. I'm a fanboy, man. I love this. When you give me nuances and pieces of things that I'm familiar with, that continuity stuff from the comics or cartoons, character traits, I'm all in. And that's what this film did for me. A lot of people are just looking for something different, and that's okay. We're not all going to be on the same page. So for me, that post-credit scene was everything. That was everything I needed. You could have just given me that, and I would have been like, okay, let's go. What's next? But they didn't end there. They gave us another post-credit scene, which is the one that everybody has been waiting for. Everybody has been wondering, when are they coming? When are they coming? And bam, we got, not only we get that, but we got another cameo with another version of another character that we've seen, and I'm not going to tell you who, but there's a meaty second mid-credit scene. Only two post-credit scenes. There's one right immediately when the movie ends, like last scene, post-credit, and then a mid-credit scene. Nothing at the end of the credits, so don't stick around for that. But mid-credit, and that's the kicker. Everybody's going to be told, well, the internet's probably already spoiling it right now as we speak while I'm talking about this, so you probably don't even need to listen to anything that I got to say about it. So, but yeah, overall, what did I think about the Marvels? Probably a 7 out of 10 for me. I do not think that this movie is as bad as the internet is trying to make it seem with a lot of the critics. And I'm not alone, because as soon as I walked into that theater and I checked Rotten Tomatoes, for some weird reason, the audience scores at an 83%, as the critic scores at a 54%, with the same amount of reviews. So I'm not alone. This movie is not as terrible as people are making it seem. Yes, if you break it down structurally as a filmmaker and all this other jargon that a lot of people that pay to go to the movies do not care about. $1 billion at the box office for a movie that no one cared about. Okay, they're not all going to break it down the same way we break it down. And some of us are just a little bit more lighthearted when it comes to watching certain things. We just want our stories. That's it. We just want escapism. We just want to be entertained. And I can guarantee you, especially if you were there for Miss Marvel, you are going to be thoroughly entertained throughout this entire movie. And you're not going to be looking at your watch. You're not going to have to go do a bathroom break. Because, like I said, the movie's only an hour and 45 minutes long. It's in and it's out. And you get what you came to get if that's what you came for. It's not going to be for everyone, ladies and gentlemen. But that's just how you sum up this film. Uh, in a nutshell. Let me know if you are excited to see the Marvels. Have you been waiting for it? Have the bad reviews turned you off at all? Have I moved the needle a little bit for you with my words? Let me know. Drop a comment below. We'll talk about it. Like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe. And for more movie news, television news, and pop culture, check out wearecritics.com. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.